Hey everyone, Tommy from TechNexus, and thanks for joining me on today's videos. Hopefully you were able to follow with yesterday and have a play with the line, polyline, circle, and arc commands up here. But we can also have a look at creating some sort of polygons and other items up here through the draw panel of the ribbon. So to draw something like a rectangle, so you can just click the rectangle button, and again, first corner point, or look at chamfering, elevations, which we're not going to look at today, filleting, which we can look at it, thickness and width. But if I want to do the first point, so it'll be 0, 0, and this is another handy command. You type in at 1000, 1000, and it draws it to 1000 in one direction, 1000 in the other direction. And you just saw then it was quite small because I zoomed in and out. Another handy AutoCAD command is Z for zoom and E for extents, and then that way the drawing will zoom to the extents of the drawing. So if I do another rectangle out here and another one here and another one out here, and if I do zoom, enter, E, enter, then you can see it does the extents of everything. And it's a good way to see if you've got something out in the middle of whoop whoop there. So you can see it's zoomed to the extents, and all my elements are really quite small here, and you can see that it's a tiny little white dot that's a leftover from something over here. So I can just erase that point and then go back to seeing everything that I've got in my drawing. And to erase, you can pick something, so pre-select it and then go E to erase, or if you want to do the command first, so E, enter, and then select the element and then enter as well there. Now, you don't have to press enter, you can press space. So space is like an enter. So if I do L and then space, so I get the L the lines there as well. So if I do a rectangle, I can press space, and that gives me the ability to start the command there as well. And you can see that there's some grids in the background as well. So you can type in the word grid, and you can see that it says there what's the spacing of it. So I can do it at 10, or I can change it to 100, and you see the grids will change to 100 spacings. And it's probably a bit hard to see on the video, but if you can see it, there's some very faint lines at 100 centers. So there are 10 of them. You can see that there's 10 across in the X direction and 10 up in the Y. So that's where you get your majors and minors. And you can see if I zoom out, if I keep, and I'm rolling the mouse wheel here. So as I roll the mouse wheel in and out, you can see the grids change. Their majors and minors increase or decrease as I scroll through that as well. We've also got polygons. So again, from 0, 0, number of sides, I want to do 6, and the center, so is 0, 0, and is it inscribed in the circle or circumscribed? So inscribed means it's inside. So if I do a meter, so I'll do a circle at 0, 0 and go out to a meter. So you can see that circumscribed inside, and then if I do the same 6, and then center is 0, 0, and then as I circumscribed about the circle, then as I go to that 1 meter value again, it does it outside the circle. So there's our 1 meter diameter circle. We got inside the circle or outside the circle. So it'll depend on what you want to draft and what you need to do in there. So if I do another polygon, and let's do 12 sides, so same thing, 0, 0, and then inscribed at a meter. So there's my 12-sided polygon inside the 1 meter circle there as well. So you'll work through it as you go. If I need to do an ellipse, so I can do the majors and minors. So the end point, I can go a meter in this direction, and I can go 500 mil in that direction, and you can see there's our ellipse there as well. And we do have different options, so center to axis and ends, and elliptical arcs. Hatching, I'll go through hatching a little bit later. I think this is, I want to sort of demonstrate, all the different things that you can do here. So even something like if I do a polyline from 0, 0, and then I can go a meter in this direction, and then you've got A for arc, and then you've got different options down there: angle, center, close, direction. So, whichever way you go. So if I want to go 250 mil up this way, and then I can keep doing lines, and I can switch back to L to line, and then I can keep going up another 500 mil up that way. So you can see we can join it all as one polyline. And even something cool here, so I can offset that by 100. So I can go O for offset 100, and we can go through this a little bit later. And you can see AutoCAD does offset it by 100 and also adjusts any of the curves and lines and all that kind of stuff. You can see it's gone from 500 from here to here. So if I do a distance command, so it is, 100 from here to here, and it has offset so that there as well. So we've gone, to a really small arc in here to a large one because of the way the arc and the curves are drawn there as well. So you can create multiple elements inside a polyline. If I do have a line, and I can do an arc separately. So let's say I wanted to do that, and then I can draw a line coming off there. So for whatever reason I want to join them all together, you can do a PE, so a polyline edit, and it says select a polyline. You select a line, it says do you want to convert it into one. You say Y for yes, and then you J for join, and then you can pick the two elements, and then there they are. Okay, and while I remember it, so when you pick something, there's an element called a pick box. So if I erase something, that's this white box you see in the middle of the screen. So if you type in the command pick box and I give it a value of 8, then you can see the box gets a bit bigger. So just to show you an extreme value there, so if I go 20, and you can see how big that pick box is. So I'm running a 1440p resolution, so I'm going to go back down to 8 because that's a nice sort of size for this as well. That's all the sort of the 2D drafting stuff I wanted to cover. Do have a look at the other options in here. Click on the help command. It'll tell you a little bit more about lines and polylines and circles and whatever else. And again, like I said yesterday, is if you have any comments, please write them in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to look at them or just answer them if we can, or I can do them as another video. So thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't. Please do subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon for daily notifications of all my videos. And unfortunately, I won't be able to publish videos for the end of the week. I will be traveling, but I will see you next week for some more basics and AutoCAD tips and tricks. So again, thanks for watching. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week. See you later.